What it do, what it is, what it ain't. Thanks for listening to the latest episode of the Get Right Podcast. Don't forget to follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to get notifications of new content. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you dig? Cue the music. Yo, what it do, what it is, what it ain't. It's your boy T, man. It's the Get Right Podcast, and we are back. Took a little week off, man, because we was ripping and running, man. But we back. I'm never rolling solo because I got the brain trust with me. His word count gonna be up today. You know what I'm saying? Rob, what's happening?
What up, though?
There go 3. And of course, we already got the man. The people they love to hate to love. Mr. Misconception. DC, what's good, bro?
It's your boy DC in the place to be. Shout out to the 80s, baby.
Let's go. And man, we got a quadrant, you know what I'm saying? So we got a guest, man, who gonna be kicking it with us, man. Good friend of the show as well. And a good friend of the homie Rod, man. He's a good friend of us too, man. So hey, we got Wadsworth. How you feeling?
What's going
man?
on? Oh man, no, I'm feeling good, man. I as soon as I heard y'all start hitting those intros, I'm like, man, I should have thought of like something sweet to say for the intro. I always wanted one of those cold intros. Y'all be on it. And I knew it coming in because I listened to the pod. So it's like, dog, I should have been better prepared.
Man, I love it, man. And speaking of always being
one of those.
Yeah, we got
Just
you.
give me one of those old school radio vibes where it's like first time, long time. Y'all remember that back?
Yeah.
Yep. I feel first time calling.
Man, hey man, we appreciate that love, man, for sure, man, and you following, man, and staying locked in, man. But yeah, bro, I know you're gonna be sharpening up that intro, man. We gonna be looking forward to it, man. And one of your intros to you. You know what I'm saying? I consider you, and I know Rod and DC's gonna learn too, man. You're a bit of aficionado when it comes to marketing, branding, and intros and sales and all that, man. Like for listeners who are looking to start a podcast, start a business, start whatever, right? The big picture you always see on Instagram and TikTok is the end result. But I'm gonna ask you, man, like, what's your thought process on that? And like what's three things you just say, all right, this is the baseline before you start looking at making dollars?
Yeah, no, I think that it all starts with branding, in my opinion. And, a lot of people think that branding is like logos and websites and things like that. That's like a visual branding thing. But like when you talk about the core of what branding is, it's understanding your mission, your values, and like who your target audience is. And one of the big issues that I see with a lot of people that's either starting podcasts or businesses or things like that, man, they want to jump right into like building stuff and trying to get as many people, into their stuff as possible. And it's like, man, you can't make stuff that everybody just universally loves right off the bat. It normally starts as like a small movement with like an audience that's kind of unheard or not being serviced correctly. And then you grow from there. So really, man, start with branding, figure out that one audience that you want to speak directly to, and then learn as much as you can about that audience and really target your content directly to them. And that'll get you set up for success, like right off the bat.
Bang. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah. No, that's truth, right? I couldn't have said it any better. And I call this man like he's the president of the caucus. So when he say something, listen.
All day, man. All day, man.
That's untrue. I think on the shoulders giant. Me and Rod go way back. He was one of the first black leaders on our floor that I saw. Tell me I'm lying, Rod.
No, I was there.
That's facts.
I was there.
There we go.
Yeah,
I was there.
The only reason my clothes look so clean is because Rod was the one taking the darts for us, showed us the way.
I don't know about that, man. But Yeah, man, it's interesting how far branding yourself and branding your products can take you. And I know the audience probably listening like, man, are we going to talk about this person again? But one of the best marketing individuals that we have in the game right now invented this character named Primetime years ago. I don't know what 20, what 30. I don't know how long has it been. It's been a while,
88,
right?
88.
Yeah. So, sheesh, it's been that long.
It's over 30 years.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So like that's a true testament of what marketing can do, because obviously they ran into a better team, right? And we talked about it over the last couple of weeks, and I said, really, like, we'll find out who this team is when they play Oregon and USC, and they got some other dogs that's gonna come up too that we didn't even know about, like the Washington States, UCLA's. So I don't know, T. Your 4-loss prediction is.
8-4. Standing on it, bro.
I hope you do. All right, man.
Hey, I can't go back, bro.
Hey, down with the lie, bro. I like it. I like it. But I will say, just to touch on the attention that Colorado was getting, that's based off of the marketing that Prime has put on itself. And it's funny, after the game, I don't know if y'all seen the coach from Oregon,
Yeah.
his pregame speech.
Yeah, Dan Lanning, he was
I
turned up.
had nothing wrong with what he said.
Nope. I'm
Like,
okay
you
with
do
that.
what you got to do to get your team fired up. But Prime said, you know what? These teams are trying to beat me. They ain't realize I don't play no more. And they taking it on the kids, and I signed up for it. So let's go. And I respect that. You know what I mean? They're gonna be crazy to compete in the next couple of years, because what you're seeing now is not only the marketing behind Prime Time, but it's also selling Colorado, and really him, to these young, hungry athletes that, if they get the NIL thing right, and they actually, I think, as long as NIL is good and Prime is there, they're going to compete, because they're going to get some 4 or 5 star guys that just want to come play and live in that environment. I mean, you got celebrities every week, and win, lose, or draw, you're going to have the attention, and the spotlight's going to be on you. And ultimately, what's your goal? Get to the NFL, right? Whether I'm the best player on the team or I have, limited playing time, I know even in that limited playing time, I'm going to get some film out. So I ain't mad at it.
Nah.
So if I can jump in on that,
Yeah.
because I think that you're totally right? But it's one thing I want to tweet. I actually don't think it's going to take a couple of years. I think it's only going to take one. I think that this upcoming recruiting season, that Colorado will have a top 5 recruiting class, and they will by far have the best results out of the transfer portal next year. Every problem that they have, I
Okay.
believe that they're going to fix it within a year. And it's one thing that like solidified it for me. I already thought about it, but after last week's game, ESPN, they posted just on their TikTok alone, it was 38 straight TikToks about Colorado. Now, mind you, this was 12 hours after kickoff where I'm looking at this. I totaled up all the views, and it totaled up to 70 million views that ESPN drove just off their TikTok page about Colorado. Now, again, this is a team that before this last week had only won 4 of their last like 19 games.
Right.
That's all Prime. And that visibility, like, kids are going to eat that up. I think that Colorado is a more visible program than Alabama is, like right now today.
Facts.
That hurts to hear that, but it's true, bro. No, it's true.
So that got me thinking. So considering we talking about Brandon and Coach Prime is the ultimate marketing kind of guru genius, and he also has to put results too, right?
Yeah.
But as far as that Brandon thing, the thought is if you do something once, then you can duplicate it. Y'all think that this brand, that what he's doing, can it be duplicated?
No.
It can be replicated, but not duplicated. It won't be duplicated. Deion's only Deion, man. I think he's the only one of his character. If someone tried to mimic that, because it was gonna come off of is mimicky, you know what I'm saying? Like you got Frosted Flakes, and then you got Flakes frosted, right? If you look at them generic brand cereals, right? You're not gonna get that same thing, bro.
McDowell's and McDonald's, man.
All day. All day. It's gonna be hard, bro. I think there are other coaches that's gonna probably like ramp this up, especially he's paving that way for more black head coaches. I would say Boulder is probably one of the most diverse college campuses now, bro, in the US, bro. He's opening doors, bro. And that was his goal.
I disagree though. I disagree that it's going to open doors for more black coaches.
I think, oh really?
Yeah,
I think it is, bro. Not in a year's time. It's gonna happen, bro.
Why would you say it though? Like what has he done so far outside of be him that would open it up for somebody else to have that
aside being the persona of Deion Sanders, he can really coach. He can really coach. So take the persona away. He can really coach. Like Jay Norvell, that Colorado State team, bro, they came to play. It's another black coach. He can really coach. So like I think it's gonna spotlight. It's gonna give more opportunities, more interviews, more opportunity getting in that room, man. So I just see that down the road.
But see, I see the spotlight as a thing that's on Prime. It wasn't because of his coaching skills. Like if Prime wasn't Prime, I don't know if he would have had the opportunities that he's been given. And obviously he didn't have like just ultimately I'm coming in and taking over a crazy D1 program. He had to do the Jackson State thing. He did high school. You know, he had to go through the ranks and then landed
he got out the mud, bro.
He got out the mud. So that tells me another coach can do it.
Yeah, that's why I feel like what he's doing can be duplicated, man. Like as far as the whole shades and the jewelry thing, maybe not that per se, but to me, his underlying brand is quick results in the college game, which you don't generally see. Generally speaking, it's 2-3 years. Like you hire a new coach, you know it's going to be 2-3 years before you see positive results. And he's basically flipped it. So where he's like, nah, look, I'm going to embrace the transfer portal, which no other coach really has embraced it. And I think that's going to be his brand. To me, that's his cornerstone brand, is embracing the transfer portal. You know, saying determining what your system is. You know, he's determined what his football system is and said, look, this system is going to take us to the promised land. It's successful on this level. It was successful on this level. And bring your kids to me, and I'm gonna get them right ASAP. It ain't no waiting no 2-3 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the brand, bro. Like all that, like I said, all that other stuff, the flash, maybe that might not be duplicated, but that underlying part is gonna be the brand, and that's gonna definitely get duplicated.
Yeah, I can see it being one of those things where I really think Deion has like 3 really sweet facets to him. You know, you all touched on the marketing, his ability to like pull in attention, pull in dollars. You also have, you know, his coaching ability. He clearly knows the game, has been around the game his entire life. But I think the one that's like a little bit underestimated is his ability to inspire men. And I think all 3 of those things individually will be duplicated and replicated across college football. The secret sauce is to have all 3. And man, I just think, just like, you know, when we see generational quarterbacks or generational basketball players, that's Deion. And I just don't think you're going to see another one for it's going to take somebody 10 years, 20 years of putting it all together to be able to replicate what he's done. So it'll happen. It'll just be a long time from now.
Yeah.
I think Ray Lewis going to do it, man.
You said who?
Ray Lewis, ain't he about to get a job coaching somebody?
He been talking about it. He been talking about that. So yeah, but I don't
tell
know.
you what,
I would people run through walls, bro.
Yeah, yes, he can.
He might need a team of tacticians around him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He need an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, you know, somebody to do the X's and O's. But as far as like guiding the whole ship, I think it could be him, and he has that type of personality that could, you know, bring kids across the nation to his program, you know, through a transfer portal.
I thought Deion was gonna try to get him though. To be honest, you know they so close. I was like, man, he probably gonna get Deion in that lock. If he can probably gonna get Ray in that locker room, that would have been crazy.
He want to be the HNIC.
Warren Sapp is supposed to be heading to Colorado next year. At least that's what it said.
But you know, coach,
and that's another reason why I don't see how it could be replicated into Wadsworth Point anytime soon. Is you got to have connections, the charisma, the ability to inspire. You have to have all of those things encompassed just to get them to where they are right now. Um, End of the day, right there's generational people like we just talked about, right? There's generational personas. There's only a certain amount of people that's going to change the landscape of how things are operated. I know Harbaugh back in the day tried to do the signing with the stars and bringing, Migos and all these stars out
Yeah.
to the place, and it didn't really pan out too well in the end. But Prime's doing it right, and it seems more organic for him. Not many people are going to be able to connect with individuals that can bring out Waynes and all these celebrities, and at the same time have so many NFL connections that I can, get you opportunities for scouts. I can get coaches to come coach with me. That takes a lot of skill and connection, man. Like connection is still everything. So that's why I say I don't see how it would be replicated anytime soon. And then I know T, you said the black coach thing is going to open doors. I don't see it because like we've been shit on so much
Hmm.
forever. I don't see Dion making that any better because it's almost like love him or hate him, right? A lot of black people love him. A lot of not black people don't like him because of who he is,
Yeah.
and they want to see him fail, right?
Hmm.
So those are still the majority of the people that's going to be offering these jobs. A lot of people don't want that attention. A lot of people don't want the shades and the gold chains and the things at the press conferences. So I don't see how that opens up a door for black coaches per se. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it.
I see it in a way because sadly, but and Dion recognizes it too because he ain't done. That bottom line, man.
Yeah.
If you can attract that coach and that guy that can turn around and win, whatever culture he bringing, especially if it's positive too, they welcome him in it, bro. You see Boulder embracing it. Why? Boulder just sold out 2 home games in a row. Never
Yeah.
have. They just
T-
had the number one most viewed college football game in history since 1991. So
mm-hmm,
like, man, that bottom line, bro, that dollar looking mighty green, bro. And so they loving
mm-hmm.
that black dude. If you can get a coach like a Ray Lewis, to do that and change your program around, and you have these celebrities, or you see most of you might see the whole Miami you on the sideline with Ray, you're gonna embrace that though, because one, you're bringing in money. Those the alumni, they some of them might hate him. Some of them might secretly hate Dion,
Yeah.
but they bringing in that bottom line. He turning in
I
that
mean,
dollar, boy, and
yeah,
that's what the
we can
honest
see
truth.
money is the most important thing in any organization, right? Profit. And you've seen the annihilation of a full conference because of money. You know what I
Yep,
mean? Like
Yeah.
the
yep.
whole Pac-12 is gone because TV dollars. So, um,
So I just say it like that because some alum can say, "Ooh, if he can be the next Dion," I'm air quoting. Man, we might take a chance on this. We can get some money. We can get some more
mhm,
Right.
viewership. That's
I think
unfortunate.
it's one more piece that's needed to try to like replicate what Dion has done, because we got to keep in mind Dion went to the worst program in all of college football as far
He
as
did.
D1 goes.
Yep.
So they handed him the keys and said, "You are free to do it your way." One, that take a lot of confidence, and Ray is
mhm,
confident. I don't know if he that confident where it's like, I'm gonna go to the absolute worst team and do
mhm,
things radically different, even differently than Dion has done it, because that's Dion's
mhm.
bag. Who's gonna make their own new way?
Yeah.
But I don't think you can go to an even halfway successful school. If Dion had went to a school that had won 5 or 6 games, they would have never let him basically
Never.
fire the entire team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never.
All but six, bro. All but six
Right.
players.
Yeah. And then, you know, the leash would be short when it comes to how many
Hmm.
games you win. Like before this whole Mel Tucker thing started, I know a big asterisk marks on him was the last, well, what, what has he been there? This is season 4, right?
Yeah, it was season 4 for him.
Yeah.
Season 4. So season 1, trash. Season 2, hit gold in the transfer portal, had a big year, signed a humongous contract. Season 3 looked just like season 1. So the big expectation on him, again, this is year 4, and he had a successful season, and they were already talking about, all right, if he don't produce this year, he's gone, right? We're gonna
Yep.
try to find a way to fire him. So that's what I'm saying. Like the leash on a black head coach is so much shorter than those of other ethnicities, right?
That's
And,
fair.
and that's why I'm just like, I don't know. I hope it changed, but I don't see it. I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Man, bro, I'm gonna tell you though, everything that Dion has done throughout his public career
Hmm.
has been an immediate impact. I mean, he went to play football in Florida State. He had an immediate impact, and he had an immediate impact on the way that kids were recruited and the way recruits came into college sports. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, I'm not saying that all the college kids was driving Porsches. I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying? Don't take what I say literally, but he definitely like paved the way. It didn't take no 20 years for the world to kind of catch up. He went to the league. You know, he played, of course, you know, DB and punt return, kick return. He immediately changed the way that DBs looked, the way they dressed to this day. And it
Hmm.
didn't take no 10, 20 years. So I say that to say this with coaching, with what he's doing, it's not going to take 10, 20 years, bro. Nothing that he's
No,
ever done or he's ever been a part of, as far as enacting change, whatever that change may look like, um, it never takes a long time, like for the
Would,
world to catch on.
would you say
Um,
the world caught on now, or is it like one of those things where like I can go get a base model Mustang, but it don't look like one of those 5.0s running around out here. I got the same body, it looked the same, but when you look
mm-mm.
at the results of what it can do, it's not the same. And when you look at Dion, I've never seen anybody that just proclaims to be a winner and then wins
Yeah,
like all the time. Like,
well, yeah, I would compare it to like having MJ versus Kobe. Is Kobe
okay,
MJ? Of course he's not. But like, man, let's not act like Kobe's career was trash. You know what I'm saying? So
hmm,
like,
right.
granted, somebody else might not get a Deion Sanders per se, but if you got the Kobe Bryant of Deion Sanders, I can assure you that there's 100 college campuses that would love that and would grab it quick. You know what I'm saying? Somebody would probably take the DeMar DeRozan of Deion Sanders, you know, because DeRozan is very much
Yeah.
like an
yeah,
MJ. So what I'm saying is like, I don't think that somebody's going to go out and say, "Oh, I got to find another prime." It's just let me find somebody who can take care, like you said, that base model, which is exploit the transfer portal. I mean, to me, that's the true X factor
hmm,
is exploit the transfer portal. You know what I'm saying? Building college programs the old way is done. It's over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What Coach Prime is doing, he is the new wave, and somebody else might do
yeah,
it a little bit different. Might not have the same kind of flash, but when you strip all that away, you're gonna find that the next generation of college coaches, they're gonna build their powerhouses through the portal.
yeah.
Mm.
And I mean, I think you're seeing it already. Like a lot of teams have been doing it over the last few years, not to the extent that Dion has been doing it, but I think you're right when you point out the fact that he damn near his entire roster is from the portal. I'm not can't even say damn near, right? The entire
Right.
roster is from the portal, and that's unheard of. Like I don't even know how you do that, but he did it. So, but on another note, I know, we're big football people around here, and football is a violent sport, and we love it. And obviously, prayers go out to Nick Chubb, who had a horrific
Yeah,
injury
that was tough.
on Monday. Um, yeah, that was like McGahee part 2. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing,
Yeah.
like, I'm on a text chain with and Terrell's on a few of them. One of the things when he went down, obviously the announcer said, it's too gruesome to show. We're not going to show it on TV. And people like, I don't know, like me, who has a crazy sense of I just love this game, go on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it and try to look up the injury, right? I want to see what the hell happened. Like, I don't know, for whatever reason I wanted to see it. So once I saw it, I'm like, why the hell did I watch that? I shouldn't have watched that. You know what I mean? But the brain tells us that we need to see these things. So on this note, it was a radio host or commentator or something that said the fans deserved. He didn't like that NBC did not replay the injury as it was shown in the stadium, because in the stadium you can hear the crowd like go,
Yeah.
oh.
Yep.
And he said the fans at home deserve to see the injury the way that the fans in the stadium saw it. And he was kind of going in on them. Like, I don't know if I agree with him with that. I don't think I agree with him, because obviously that's somebody's livelihood. You don't want to see someone get injured. But on another note, I did go looking for it. I did go searching to see what the heck happened. So, what is your thoughts on that? Like, how do you feel about teams, and there's a lot of injuries going out right now. How do you feel about the network broadcast not showing said injuries because they feel like it's too gruesome?
Ugh. For me, I'm like 50-50. When I think about like that Nick Chubb injury, that leg injury, because it does. When you tell someone I'm not gonna show it to you, you're gonna try to go find it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Because social media and just pretty much technology, you can go find it elsewhere. But also think about that Damar Hamlin. I mean, dude
Mm-hmm.
literally had a heart attack, and they showed that thing. I don't know how many times on TV. I don't even
Countless.
know,
Yeah.
but they showed it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And so I understand that point too, because I can only imagine like his family, his mom seeing that over and over and over again. And then, because we are fans of the game, man, and we do forget. I think where when people are human beings at the end of the day too,
Mm-hmm.
when they take off that helmet, they don't wear that every day. You don't see Nick Chubb walking down the street in the Cleveland Browns uniform. You know what I mean? He's a human being, and so that's the human aspect. Is like, I understand why they said, "Hey, this looked pretty bad." You just happen to be there because you was in the stadium. I think just one of those things. You just happen to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Unfortunately, with the internet, they're gonna find it anyway. So if you go looking for it, you're gonna go looking for it. But I was okay when they said they didn't want to show it. I just took it
Yeah.
as like, yeah, that's it's a serious injury.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I'm
I don't have a
cool.
problem with them not playing it, man. I understand that the Damar Hamlin thing. Hamlin, but I guess the only difference with that is, as of course we understand what happened and the cardiac arrest, but it's different from like watching like a body part getting snapped in half. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like it's just the visual is going to be different, man. And
Mm,
I think that there are times where it's like, look, if you really want this content, there's a place for it called the internet. Have at it,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to go find it.
Mm-hmm.
And in this day and age, it ain't hard to find. So
Not at all.
I don't really see a problem with the powers that be deciding not to re-air it.
Yeah. As soon as I opened the app, it was already there. I didn't even have to search. It just, as soon as I opened it, that
mm-hmm.
was like the first 7 things on my timeline. So
Right.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat where it's just like, hey, it's not hard to find for the people that want to see it, and for the people that don't, then cool. The one piece where I'm like, is that the game is dangerous. And every
Mm-hmm.
time these guys suit up, they go out there, they putting, they health on the line. So
Mm-hmm.
to enjoy the beautiful, fun parts of the game, but yet want to be shielded from the danger of it, doesn't let you fully appreciate what these guys are doing, like on a week in, week out basis.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say, as young kids that aspire to be football players, again, it's age. I'm not going to show it to my 7-year-old on a pee wee team, But my 14-year-old may need to see it where it's like, hey, dog, you are running back. Like, this is the possibility of what, can happen. This is why training is so important. This is why exercise and flexibility is so important. So it just helps put things in the proper context for people where it would be beneficial for them to actually watch it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. One thing I tell my son, and he's just in flag now, I don't know if he'll ever transition to contact the way he is right now. I don't know. But I try to get him over that fear of getting injured because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah.
Like, you will be injured. It's just how severe it's going to be. And he's already learning, right? His every other week he has jammed fingers. I'm like, bro, that's you playing receiver right now. That's gonna happen. So I think you're right, man. Like you have to know both sides of the coin, but at the same time, yeah, there's a time and a place for sure. Family friendly. I get it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And I say that's
Also, the
again, that's the
NFL
beauty of
gonna
the
be trying to
internet,
make that
bro.
money.
yeah. Beauty of the internet and the NFL is gonna get their bread. You're right. Both of y'all.
That bottom line.
Man. But yeah, man, I gotta shift gears a little bit again, transitioning today. Quick question for y'all.
Transition.
Let's go a little bit into some music. Because we've all been to some dope concerts over the years. And Drake was just in Charlotte. I know DC, you got a chance
Yeah,
to check
both of
it.
y'all want to see it.
Yeah, I checked it out yesterday. I will say, after seeing this man live in concert, not that he had the crowd extra hype or anything different from what I've seen before. The thing that struck me the most is I seen a lot of dudes. We'll just call them that, right? A lot of dudes that that not to stereotype people, but they don't look like they'd be singing to no Drake. You know what I mean? There's a lot of tough looking dudes, you know what I mean, out there singing their hearts out to Aubrey, bro. I've never seen anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, he might just be, and just follow me here. Just follow me here. He might just be the best artist of our generation. And that's going back to Mr. Michael Jackson himself. Now, I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying he can be in that conversation.
He in the room. He's in the room.
100%.
He's in the room. I don't think Mike, shit, bro. That dude transcending, bro. He is transcending, bro. It's almost like you can't even talk bad about that dude.
Well, from an entertaining standpoint, Mike definitely was, but from a catalog standpoint, Drake is up there, bro.
He up there. He ain't touching Mike, bro.
The longevity of the dude being able to give you a 2-hour set and not even go through half of his catalog is crazy to me.
No, like, that's fire.
He still had a lot of material that he could go through, and he has a one song that he performs in every city from his B-sides, bro. Like, his B-sides is better than a lot of people A-sides, which is just nuts. And I'm not trying to convince y'all one way or another, but I'm just saying what I seen last night from him. And not saying it was like the most entertaining concert, because it was some weird stuff going on with these blow ups, but the catalog alone, he might be the best artist of our generation, man. I don't know if I've ever seen a run that's as stable as his.
Yeah, so
go ahead, DC.
As far as I don't know if I put him up there as high, man. A few names. Yeah, we're talking about since Michael Jackson. A few names come to mind. Of course, one, I'm gonna say Beyonce.
Performance, I give you that. Think of catalog though. Think of catalog wise.
Drake, I'm sure Drake has more #1 hits. I'm sure he has more hits just because he never really takes a break. Like, he he puts out an album every year, sometimes
Mhm.
multiple albums per year. So as far as just the length of catalog, I won't argue with that. But if you were to kind of boil it all down to a single score, I don't know if I put him above Beyonce. I don't know if I put him above Chris Brown. Um,
Really?
yeah, because here's the thing, man, that I personally believe is lacking on Drake's side. So I went to the show as well, and the show was cool. For me, it was probably a little bit too much singing, but
Too much thing. I agree with
I,
that.
I think that as an objective fan, he has a very very wide fan base, and he has to appeal to everybody, not just the hip hop head. So I'd like to see more rapping. I also thought some of those little floating things that was coming in and out of the floating over the stage, that was pretty cheesy to me. Didn't really see the point of that. It didn't really add anything to the show. The fact that the stage lit up was dope. I will say I'll
Mhm.
give them that. You know what I'm saying? And how it was kind of choreographed to kind of go along with the performance, whatever. That was cool. But man, Chris Brown, Usher, I'll probably put Usher. Again, maybe not so much the catalog, but performance wise, you talking about people who
Mhm.
can sing and dance, and Drake can't really sing, bro. I'm sorry. Like,
Nah, he harmonizes Bone Thugs and
right.
Harmony.
And he barely
Hmm.
does that. Like he barely does that. It's not like, he just knows how to catch a vibe. You know what I'm saying? So no, I don't know if I'll put him up that high, man. But it was a dope show. It was a dope show. Um, a little more rapping. I don't know. He had that British dude opening up for him. It was pretty. It was pretty lackluster. I don't know if you saw the opener.
Nah, I didn't. I
Yeah,
didn't
you didn't.
watch
You
it.
didn't miss anything.
I'm sure I didn't.
Oh, so there you have it. So hold on. So wow, where you with this, bro? Like, is,
Man,
is
I'm a little weird when it comes to Drake. I like Drake. I think he is a beast. He has a crazy catalog. I agree with like almost all the points made here. My thing with Drake is just like I really do feel like most of his catalog sound the same. Like
Mm,
I don't know if we need all of his catalog. It's like, oh, I can take like one song and eliminate like six songs from his catalog. 'Cause it's like, well, he really does the same stuff in this song. So I really just need this one.
mm,
What
Hmm.
I like in a cat, like if you, the age old question, like, oh, if you were on an island and you could only take like one artist's catalog with you, it would not be Drake because too much of it sound the same. I would go crazy. I would need somebody with some variety to give me like different things. And Drake just, to me, doesn't do that enough for my liking.
I've
that
never heard
is a
anybody say
very,
that before.
bro. That is
man,
a very fair point.
that's a good
Yeah.
analogy though. You say you going crazy. You gonna name your volleyball Wilson and all that.
I've never heard anybody say
But
that
you,
before
but you
though.
know what? That's crazy because we talked about that on the pod, and he probably would tell you the episode. But we said that Drake has kept the same formula since he's come out, and it still works. But yeah, that was a different way of looking at it. Is
It was top mixtape episode, by the way.
it of course you know
Wow.
that, bro. Like,
I was just saying, we talking about our top mixtapes, and
Historian of the
I
pod.
mean, he did drop
right.
an EDM album and an
And I did not
album
like it.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna say
didn't
it
like that.
wasn't
with
good though.
21 Savage and
okay.
an album with like Elevator. I'm not saying I love them all, but those are all very different types of music. Like I don't know, man. I guess
So,
like if you don't like the music, you don't like them.
s-
That's what can I
s-
say? But
So would you
they
so,
take
all
him if
sound
you
the
was on the
so,
island?
same.
so
Hold
I was
up.
about to say. So to pose that question,
Yeah.
if you had one artist to take with you if you stranded, well, I know who yours is. I don't even know why I have to ask that. Never mind.
It ain't gonna be Drake though.
Nah, it's not.
So
It's Nas,
that's
this
your
guy.
point.
I would probably take a Nas album, but
I
also
told you.
I'm a
Yeah,
Nas
you,
stan.
But
Yeah.
still, bro,
But
it says a
Nas
lot
album,
though.
but honestly, Nas music is more monolithic than Drake. Like Drake has more diverse music than Nas.
Hmm.
So I'm a bigger fan of Nas's style of music. But
it's,
Nas, he raps. He doesn't sing. He doesn't do EDM. He doesn't do Afro beats or Caribbean or nothing. You know what I'm saying? He just does
I don't
street
think you need
New
to
York
do
street rap.
that
That's it.
though. I don't think you need to do that for variety. Nas is great and he has a great catalog because he's a storyteller and he's telling you different stories through his whole thing. Again, you can't replace
How
a
different are the
Nas
stories
song with
though?
another one.
How
I
different are
think
these
that they're
stories?
different enough. Fair. I think every phase that we've seen Nas, he's talking to you about the phase that he's in. So you can only take, any album he comes out with in like a 3 or 4 year time range. Okay, those are all the same. But he's been around so long, he has so many of those like 4 year blocks where he's talking about something like pretty different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, bro. I don't know,
I'm a
dog.
Nas,
Like,
I'm a Nas fan
I
too, though.
listen to
So
Nas, bro, and I listen to Drake. And Drake, what he used to rap about, like hanging out in girls' basements trying to get some play to like flying girls in and flying them out. Like, I don't know, dog. Like, you want to talk about somebody rapping about what they really go through. And I would say it's got to be Drake, bro. Like, I mean, and granted, again, y'all, I'm a Nas stan. I love it. But like, come on. Like when you listen to a Nas album, you're often trying to figure out who he's talking about because it's probably not made up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like regularly. Like this, that's his shtick. You know what I'm saying? You get involved in Drake's life, he'll put you in a song. He just won't use your name. You might not know, the world might not know it was about you until like 6 years later. Like,
Yeah.
For sure. But
but
man, you
the
still ain't
sound,
taking
it
them. You
sounds
still
the
ain't taking them on
same,
that
bro.
island though. You ain't taking them on that island, so that says a lot right there.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a matter of personal preference. I don't think
For sure.
I don't think that really speaks to the diversity of his music. You know what I'm saying? I just prefer to listen to Nas, but
I think
it's not a diversity choice.
Yeah.
I think Drake has a lot of diversity in his music. However, he has so many songs that do. I get what you're saying, though. He has so many songs that do sound similar from a beat standpoint, from a tempo standpoint, that it's like, did I need another song like that?
yep.
And it don't really matter because people eat it up, right? Like he'll views the second CD of Scorpion sounds very similar. It's like that was an extension of Views, and it's like, did I really need that second CD? I don't know. Yeah, it had a couple of hits on it. It had uh uh the Kiki joint. I can't think of the name of it right now. In My Feelings. It had that in it, and it had the Michael Jackson song. But outside of that, oh, and Blue Tints, and then the rest of it was more like, damn, this sound like it should have been on Views. So I can see that point of view. It's so
Yeah.
many. It's so many
Yeah.
songs.
Drake is that guy. And again, he does try a lot of stuff. I would argue the majority of the things Drake tries, though, the crowd in which likes that type of music, they don't like it. Because that
Mm-hmm.
house beat, that Afro/house beat album that
Mm-hmm.
he just came out with last year, like people that rock with that music don't like love that album. And the
Yeah.
one song that we all listen to probably is the one with 21, which essentially
Mm-hmm.
sounds like every other Drake song that you've ever heard, just to a slightly different kind of beat.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. We were at the
And
show.
I
I
say,
was
love
at the
that.
show, and
and,
people was rocking to that EDM, bro. People
yeah,
And
was
that's
rocking to
cool.
it.
I was
But I
not.
don't think to Raj how he started this off though, for sure. Like I don't know, man. I don't think he's the greatest in my time. In my time. You know what I'm saying? I think it's still Mike. He in the room, but I think Mike is
Well, I think he was saying the
there, bro.
greatest since Mike.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah, I
him,
can.
Yeah.
Yes,
Since Mike.
since Mike.
I
So
mean, I
you
would
take
say
Mike out of the
that.
equation.
Yes. You take him out of the equation, yeah. I mean, he just need to drop a Christmas album. He in there now.
Nah, don't do
Mike got
don't do
that
that,
Christmas
bro.
boy.
Don't do that. Don't
All
do
the
that,
greats
man.
got a Christmas
All
Yeah.
the
song.
greats got a Christmas,
All the
dog.
Don't do
greats.
that, bro. Don't do that. But to me, DC said a name out there that I think similar to Wadsworth on Chris Brown. A lot of his songs sound the same to me. Like, again, I still haven't listened to that 45 song album. I can't do it. It's not
Yeah, they're all the
happening.
same. All the songs are the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, every Chris
They're all the
Brown
same.
song is very similar.
Yeah,
Like
I wouldn't put Chris over Drake. I
it's a
wouldn't.
run-on sentence, bro. And that's why you have to appreciate the Kendricks of the world. And I know people don't like them. A lot of people don't like him. There's a lot of people that do, but there's a lot of people that can't rock with Kendrick. But you can't say his music sounds the same. Like, it's creative, it's artistic, it got the bars to it. He can spit. It has levels to it. Like, to me, I probably like Kendrick a little bit more than Drake personally, but I can't knock Drake and just the pure amount of freaking volume that he has, man. It's just crazy. I've never seen anything in my lifetime like it. Even including Mike, I've never seen anyone have as much music out as he has, and so many people still rock with it.
Yeah. I mean, he drops
So
an album every year, at least, and sometimes 2 albums a year. He never takes a break, ever.
Yeah.
Like he'll never leave the summer alone. Yo, let me say, I just got now. Y'all talk about people making music that sound the same. This is going to be proof that it's all just about the kind of music you like. Because I'm about to name 2 albums that are very, very similar.
Okay.
And if you keeps it real with yourself, you're gonna be like, yeah, you're right. It's dope anyway. Y'all ready?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Jay-Z,
Mhm.
Blueprint, Black Album. They
Similar.
the same album.
Similar.
Incredibly similar. They basically the
I'm
same
laughing
album,
because you
bro.
ain't
But I love
lying,
them.
dog.
Yeah.
I
Y'all
love
talk,
them.
ain't nobody talking about but y'all gonna take that on the island though. Them
So
be Blueprint 1 and
look,
then the real
though.
Blueprint 2.
The
Let me
the
take that with me.
the blueprint was probably a little more soulful than the Black Album. I give you that. They have a similar baseline with the soul behind it, but I would say the beats that Justin Kanye was doing on the Blueprint just had, it was that chipmunk sample, right? That was the sped up samples. It was a
Yeah.
little more
Mhm.
soulful than the Black Album. But I got you. Man, I ain't gonna knock
It's
you on
the
that.
same vibe though. It is the
Very,
same
very,
vibe.
very much the same.
On
As
one
a
of them.
Jay-Z guy, I can agree with that. It's
Yeah.
hard to. I don't like
Hey,
it.
all right.
He said we had to keep it real with ourselves though.
Yeah.
But who
Jay's
you
my guy.
mentioned? Who y'all look again? It's definitely not popular right now, but Kanye, like
Yes, sir.
none of his album, he's never made the same album twice, and
Never.
he's one of the only people that I know that every single album that he's released is like a big portion of people's favorite album. Like I
Yeah.
hated Yeezus. I do not like that album.
Me
But
either.
there is a large community of non-melanated folks
Yeah.
that adore that album. But when you
Yeah.
listen to Kanye talk about it, he said that that's who he was targeting with that album, which is where all those rock beats came from, which is why a lot of, us don't really care for that album. But every single album he's ever released is like a large portion of people's like favorite album. And I just never have seen an artist like that before.
That is facts.
Yeah.
Super facts.
Yeah, you're right. Because
I hear it in
College
the lab
Dropout, Late Registration, then Graduation. I felt like those 2 are similar. They weren't the same, but they were kind of similar.
It was a
Yeah.
story. It's
Dropout
almost like
and,
a little
Late
story.
Registration. But then Graduation, complete left turn. My
Mhm.
Beautiful
Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Planning. Actually, no. I think it was 808 to Heartbreaks. I think after that, and then
yeah.
But even as you go through the
Which paved the
discography,
way
man,
for
you're right,
Drake.
bro. Like they're all
Mhm.
completely different seasons of
Yeah.
his life.
That Pablo, yeah, that shit was totally different too.
I
Yeah.
I rock with Donda. Like I think
Yeah,
Donda's
I
a
like
dope
Donda.
album.
Me too.
Yeah, Donda was straight. Yeah, Donda was straight.
See, it was better than straight for me. I still play it, but I get it. It ain't for
And
everybody.
you like it's a Christian out. Like man, like it becomes more than straight when you put that label on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's a different beast, man. Obviously I told y'all he's in my top 5 artists of all time, but a lot of people disagree with that when you just talk
I
about
don't.
just complete artists.
He sit at the top for me again, especially if you let me take his whole catalog, meaning things that he's produced. Oh, there's no better catalog in the world.
Facts.
No better catalog.
If you
When you
let
talk
me
about
take the
things he
things he
produced.
produced,
Yeah.
I can take half the Blueprint. You can take a lot of stuff.
I'm
You're
riding with
taking
you on that.
Eminem songs, Beyonce songs, Rihanna songs.
I think you could say the same about Dre. I don't know, man. You got
You
Dre. You
can.
got. I'm trying to think of anybody whose
Well, J-
catalog as a producer.
Yeah,
Well, I guess
Dre.
producer and a rapper.
Oh, for real.
For real. Yeah. Now you
I
want to
would
say
take
somebody
it.
music sounds the same. For real is somebody whose music like he finds a niche and he beats it to the ground. Then he makes up a new
Mhm.
niche and he beats that into the ground. He make, like
That's good marketing.
yeah, yeah. He's going, bro. He going like Happy when I remember when Happy dropped.
Oh man,
And he
yeah.
figured out people love that. He immediately made a whole album that sounds just like Happy.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, man. You gotta ride the wave,
He
man.
gonna ride that wave, bro. If he find a wave, he gonna ride it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I ain't mad at him though. Get your
No,
money.
not at all.
yeah, man. I know we were talking about Coach Prime and whatnot. You know, this is gonna be big news for the all those little talk shows. I don't know if y'all really watch those, like Stephen A. Smith and
Hmm.
um, Skip and his new cast of whoever. I don't know if y'all. I don't know if y'all. I love those kinds of shows, man. Like to me, those shows are like those are
Keep it
like
up with the
keeping up with the
Kardashians.
Kardashians, man. For guys, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's like the View for guys. Sports
Hmm.
shows where they just argue.
So, unpopular opinion with that. I prefer Sports Center back when I used to watch the same highlights over and over again, man. And you get maybe one of those shows, but now that the entire day is filled with argumentative just sports talk, which is debates. I mean, it's barbershop. It's what we do on here. It's a space for it. But when it's all day, it's like, bro, like, can I just get my highlights, man? Let me just get my highlights, run it back a few hours a day, and then we can sprinkle in some of the debate shows.
This is where I'm gonna pay, y'all some homage and other podcasts like this, where it's like, man, I find this far more entertaining than that because it's debate, but there's still a healthy level of like, oh, we all cool, we all chilling, just like it is at the barbershop. Like, man, if you got into an argument like they be getting on these debate shows, like you about to scrap in real
Mhm.
life. And the fact that they never scrap to me diminishes it. So
Walter over here waiting. He's like, man, he waiting for hands, bro.
He said, "Man, I woke up choosing violence, bro. I'm
Uh-huh.
changing the channel."
Hey,
right,
hey, Skip almost caught them hands once though. When
bro.
Shannon took out those glasses, bro.
Yeah.
He was about to
Throw his
catch him.
glasses back on.
Skip told him to put the glasses back on, though.
Yeah, I
Yo,
find those
Skip
shows
kept it
too
gangster for that
surface.
one, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, those shows keep it a little bit too surface. Like, they never really dive deep because those are more for sports fans that want to just hear, the high level news and then, kind of hear some debate, which I know we all like. I grew up on those. I still tune in sometimes, but I find that I enjoy more these player led podcasts
Hmm.
and things like that, where they're really going in depth and talking about things like behind what actually happened. And that's where it's like, oh, yeah, this is cool. I like that.
Yeah, and that's what you're seeing with some of these layoffs, man. Like a lot of the viewership. Stephen A. made a comment about Max Kellerman and said he didn't work with him, and it just wasn't a good fit. And they couldn't get the ratings. They couldn't get the ratings that he wanted them because he wasn't either an athlete or a journalist, which I thought basically saying that Max wasn't a journalist or an athlete, so he couldn't the people couldn't relate to him. When really his takes were pretty strong outside of the Iguodala taking the last shot thing. But you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But he has some pretty cool takes. And sometimes you want to have the average person's takes. I know he was big in like the boxing scene, but it didn't diminish like his knowledge for the sports because he wasn't a journalist or an athlete. But like you were saying, Wadsworth, a lot of these player led or former or current player led podcasts are far more interesting. I've been checking out, this podcast P for a couple of months now, and I'm like, man, this is interesting to see a current player talk about current events live time. You know what I mean? Even seeing my guy JJ Redick, I just watched one with
His
him and
is
AJ
great.
Dalla. Yeah, because he's dope. You know what I mean? But to see the perspective from them, and to be able to speak to some of the things that the Stephen A's and the Skips can't really speak to, they're just kind of assuming. It gives a different level of just like enjoyment to it. And that's why I do enjoy whenever JJ, and I see him on the clips whenever JJ Redick is going up against Stephen A, because I'm not a Stephen A fan. I love to see it because he makes Stephen A looks like stupid, bro. Like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. You can use that whole journalistic background all you want, but this is the real. This is how a player acts. This is how a player feels. This is what we as players go through, and you will never be able to understand that. And I think that part is dope.
Yeah, I like it all, man. Honestly, bro, I like Stephen A. Smith, bro. I like Skip. I like it all, man. It's like I said, it's like talk shows, man. It's like talk shows for guys, bro. And but I don't take any of it very serious. It's like wrestling. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Hey,
I like
man,
to get that quick take, like
It is a
Colorado got whooped.
WWE vibe.
wrestling
Yeah.
wrestling is serious, bro. Don't you ever disrespect wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you.
It's just like wrestling, but no, but yeah, it's entertainment, and what I like about it is like Colorado got whooped. I'm gonna want to hear a little bit of arguing about it just because it's entertaining, and then later on, somebody's gonna do a podcast about it, and I'm gonna listen to it again and watch it again, like get a deeper dive or what have you. But I feel like it's like layers to that story, man. You just get more and more layers to it, and whatnot. What's crazy is a lot of people don't like Stephen A. Smith, but I rock with Stephen A. Smith, man. Like I feel like he's a character, bro. That's just kind of how I look at it. He's a character. He's wrong. He's right sometimes. He's wrong sometimes. But I'm entertained. You know what I'm saying? It keeps me entertained.
He's too extra for me. Y'all know
Too
how I
extra.
feel about extra people, bro.
But he was right
Yeah,
about Max, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I guess you couldn't talk about the reasoning or
You said
him
he
not
was
being an
right
athlete
about
or
him?
whatever, but the ratings were dropping, and then their chemistry wasn't really there, bro. Like, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's business, bro. Like, it's unfortunate. I guess somebody has to get axed, but that's sports. It happens all the time. You put two great players on the same team, it might not work out. One of them got to go. There's no chemistry on the court, and I think that's all that was, man. It was just no chemistry, and that was his perspective.
I think that what First Take needs is for Stephen A to be winning these debates at like at least a 70% clip, because he is entertaining, especially where Stephen A is most entertaining is when he is right about something and how hard he goes on everybody else that wasn't in line with what he said being right. Stephen A being wrong is not entertaining. So I think that's really where it's like, oh, Max Kellerman is not good because Stephen A is only winning these debates 50% of the time now.
That's an interesting take.
I mean, Max used to say a lot of crazy stuff, y'all. I don't know,
He
like,
did.
y'all, like,
He did.
he might have gotten the best of Stephen A. Smith a handful of times, but like,
Oh, Jay Will used to get on
some
Stephen A
wild
too.
stuff, bro. Like, Max said a lot of head shaking things, bro. Like that just like didn't make any sense. Like Stephen A. wasn't wrong about that.
Those were entertaining though, because Stephen A would beat him up, and it would be very entertaining to watch. What it wasn't entertaining is when Max was right.
Yeah, that didn't happen very often, though. Yeah, I don't think it happened often enough, But it's just what's crazy. It's just something that like generally gets addressed in private. It played out in front of the public, and it always looks bad. It's always going to be ugly. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Usually you do that kind of stuff behind the scenes. It's not in front of everyone to see. And the thing is, to be fair, people just asking Stephen A. about it. Like, it's not like he's going on a media tour to talk about it. It's just it was a big deal in that realm. So he continuously gets asked about it, and he just answers the same question over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of gets rehashed. I guess he could say, "Look, I've talked about it enough. I'm not going to talk about it anymore." He could say that. I guess he just ducked the question, but I don't know. He's a media guy. What kind of media guy ducks questions?
A lot.
Right.
And that what
Stephen
21
A.
said.
taking the Dame Dash approach. I'm talking about it every time I get asked about it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's funny. Dame Dash was he was on Matt Hoffa, and he basically annoyed that people keep on asking him about Jay-Z, and then Matt Hoffa actually did an interview on Vlad talking about it. And Matt Hoffa said something that made so much sense. He's like, bro, the reason people keep asking you is because that's the biggest thing you've ever been a part of. Like if you had done something else, we would ask you about that. But you rocking with Jay, that's the best thing. I mean, as far as we can see,
it's
that's
the most
best part of your
successful
life.
thing. Yeah, it's
that's
the most successful thing that
about.
we've seen.
Yeah.
We always talk about these other businesses, but you never really see the success behind it. And
that's true.
It's always a new business, right? Every time he's
like, I got this new
else,
business, and then I got this going on. So don't try to tell me you ain't no boss working for other people. You know what I'm saying? And I got the cakes, and then and I'm like, that's you yelling. So I guess you yelling just to prove a point, because people will yell just to prove a point. But like you saying, we ain't seeing the results. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, where is it, bro? Like, can we go online? Can we check this out? Can we check for it?
Yeah, so we'll continue to ask you about
So,
you and Jay-Z. That's what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Welcome to the show. So talk to us about 1996.
But has he ever really directly answered the question? Because you get pieces of an answer and deflections to kind of leave to your own assumptions, but does he ever just straight up say, he just had a different business mind than I had, or a different direction that he wanted to go into?
Yeah. I mean, in a roundabout way. From my understanding, basically, and they just grew apart like any business would. You know what I'm saying? He signed Dipset without really telling Jay about it. I think, or it was a state property, maybe both of them.
Dipset. Yeah,
it was Dipset. Yeah, without signing Jay, and then Jay was kind of more and more corporate, and then Dame Dash was very abrasive in the way that he just handled people, and things just it was just a bunch of little things. There was no one thing that broke up Rockefeller, man. It was just a lot of microaggressions, man, that eventually boiled over and they just split.
The funny thing is, a lot of people still have respect for Dame that was with Rockefeller, as they should, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the individuals, hindsight, say, man, Jay just had a different trajectory and vision, man. And as you can see, was actually the path to go, right? Like if we would have just followed behind Jay, probably could have made a lot more money because of the business vision that he was putting together, man, that we just didn't see at the time. So I think that's pretty cool. And you can see that even there was people that was dissing Jay for the Super Bowl thing, but look at how many artists he's brought to the Super Bowl since he signed with the NFL or partnered with the NFL. We got Usher coming.
Yeah.
Rihanna.
That's gonna be fire.
Yeah. So Jay just he had a vision, and either you on board what they say in the state property movie, get down or lay down, bro. You get down or lay down, man. And a lot of people lay down.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things where it's like, I don't think Rockefeller gets on without Dame, the hustler, getting on in those boardrooms, making sure they got their way. But that tactic was going to they would have been just like every other group or label in the late 90s, early 2000s, which none of them really exist in any type of fashion anymore. So they needed what Jay-Z did to elevate. So I think both of them is equally as important, but it's like when you just look at who drove more revenue, it's of course Jay, but he would have never had that shot without Dame. I would love to hear Jay just toss a little respect Dame's way. I don't think he need to like kiss his ass or nothing, but just a
Mhm.
little respect Dame's way because he did make sure they all got on.
Yeah, and he said something like that in his Hall of Fame speech, right?
Yeah.
He kind of thanked him.
Yeah, but honestly, bro, I do feel that Jay would have been Jay no matter what. The trajectory I feel might have looked a little bit different without Dame, but man, I definitely think that Dame, especially the more I look back on it, I think he was replaceable. You know what I'm saying? He was replaceable. Like, granted, he definitely did important work in putting Rockefeller on. Not saying he did not. What I'm saying is, did he do something that somebody else could not have done? Especially when you look at how at the trajectory of their career since they split. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Jay-Z had another homeboy he was cool with back in the day. Could that homeboy could have been Dame? Maybe. You know, that's kind of how I look at it, bro. Because like, when you have a talent like Jay-Z, what else do you have to do? Like, you got to book the studio. They couldn't get a deal, so it's not like he helped them get a deal. They had to create their own label and push the music out themselves. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, the man can rap. He picks his own beats. He's picking his own beats like his entire career. Like what did Dame really do that somebody else couldn't have done? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, and apparently Jay didn't either, because Jay's like a multi-billionaire. And
that's fair. That's fair. It's a loaded statement. I don't know. That might have to come at another day. I have to think on that one. That is a fair. I mean, that's a fair assessment.
I'm just sitting here trying to counter it. And I'm like, man, no, that's right. That's correct.
Yeah. I mean, Jay-Z has a management company, Rock Nation. So clearly he knows about how to, you know, get one's career going in the right direction and get him the right placements and being in the right videos and the right, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh. I'm just saying, man. Shout out to Dame, though. I mean, shout out to Dame. But Irv actually said that. Irv Gotti actually said that. I ain't going to sit here and act like that was he actually mentioned that on, what was that pod with Drink Champs? He was on Drink Champs. And he was basically downplaying Dame's contributions to Rockefeller. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know, he makes some good points. I mean, pretty much what I just said, that like he'd said that. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, like, because when you got the talent, like all you basically do is book in a studio and make sure the rent's paid, and like the administrative stuff can, you know, you anybody can do that. You don't need a specific brainchild to do administrative duties.
But can they pour champagne on people like they do?
Probably not.
Shout out, Big Pimpin'.
The little shoulder shimmy.
Yeah. Like imagine if Jay-Z had two bigs instead of a Dame in the bigs. Like, because we don't know anything about Biggs because he's always been kind of the just low key, but
just like Slim from Cash Money, but they make things happen.
But like, what if you had two of those? You know, what would Jay-Z be? Like, it was just basically you had a team that didn't mind kind of just actually relished in sitting in the background and letting the star be the star and just keep the money coming.
Yeah, that's a good question right there.
Yeah.
Because when you say that, I thought about Slim. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody know Birdman, but anybody who been on Cash Money know that Slim, they bring up his name a lot and what he was doing. But you would never see him like, you might see him in the audience at shows and events and stuff, but you never see him in front of the camera and on the videos, you know, going crazy, pouring champagne.
Right.
You don't see Slim doing that.
For sure, man.
And when people don't get paid, you never hear anybody say someone's name either.
Facts. That's
super
true.
Facts. It's always baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, Birdman is the culprit.
Or people say Dame. I remember Currency was going through that with Dame.
About not getting paid?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ain't never heard nobody not
I
getting
think
paid.
I vaguely remember
yeah,
a story like that.
Currency. Yeah, Currency.
Okay. Sure. But yeah, on that note, man, I know it's been a good one, fellas. I know
Yeah.
Wadsworth, you probably got to dip out of here soon. But for the people listening, man, I know you're about to start your own podcast. Let us know a little bit about it, when it's coming out, what to look for, and we definitely want to continue to plug you, show the love.
All day, man. And we got to pull up on you, bro.
I already got it in the works when I was talking to Ryan yesterday. I'm just like, hey
For sure.
man, gotta pull up. So it's gonna be a video podcast too. So
Okay,
what I'm gonna
okay,
be
okay.
looking to do is talk about the power of storytelling and personal brands and just how you can use your life story to kind of fuel your path forward in whatever ventures those be, whether it be your 9 to 5, whether it be more, going off on your own, owning your own business, doing things like that. And what I'm gonna be doing is gonna be an interview style podcast where I'm gonna bring people on and really just talk about their life, talk about a little bit of popular culture. And then we're going to bring it all together by kind of telling the story of who this person is. And hopefully the audience finds that enlightening and finds things that they can take from it.
Dope.
That's what's
Dope.
up.
We're going to start shooting in October, launching what I'm calling episode 0, which is just the one that I'm gonna make a bunch of mistakes in. So I
All
feel like
day,
if I don't
all
call it
day.
episode 1, it's less pressure on me. That'll be dropping in November. Don't even got a
Okay.
name yet. I
I
have
was
to
just
swing
about to
back by
ask.
when I work all that out.
Oh yeah, then we gotta have you come back. Yeah, we have you pull up.
For sure, man. Yeah, we
Yeah, yeah.
definitely be checking in, man. Like, we appreciate you coming on and kicking it with us. We appreciate you listening. I know you listen to the episodes, and it's always a pleasure to hang with you, my brother.
Oh yeah, no man, my pleasure to be on here for once. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to listen to this one. It's gonna be weird to hear my own voice on it, but
Nah,
all
nah,
the
He
other
says
nah.
ones,
that.
I'm tuning in.
Nah, bro, you gotta listen to it, bro. It's your voice. You about to start getting your platform on, bro. So you gotta hear
Yeah,
yourself.
that's all right. This will be practice for that.
You know what
There
I'm
you
saying?
go. Yeah, man.
This
Yeah.
episode 0.00 for you, bro. So hey, I'm gonna say this. So if what's one marketing or branding sin that someone should not commit? Like just
I
don't
would
do it.
say immediately moving to trying to sell somebody. Like nobody wants to be sold. We all hate commercials. Everybody thinks they're going to start a social media platform and drive all of this business. Like start, and now I'm kind of plugging the pie, but you got to start with your own story. We need to understand who you are. Why is it important for us to do whatever the thing is that you want us to do? And you got to build like an actual connection, because now there's just so many options. People can listen to a ton of different podcasts. People can
Mhm.
buy from any company all over the world. Now, what makes yours uniquely different? And the answer to that question is often like you, the person running it. So share
Hmm.
more of who you are and you'll find your audience. Like you don't go out and like convince. Marketing isn't about tricking or changing like people's minds like vastly. It is putting your message out there, connecting with the people who naturally connect with it and really catering to them. And then you can slowly grow out as you get better and better.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I can speak to
Bars.
that personally. I know when we had a Real Property Management, Midlands, our property management company. We started, our ideal client was a client who had a roof. You know what I mean? Like if that was it. Like if you had a roof that had doors, maybe not even walls, we could figure that out later. Essentially, we took any client we could. You know what I mean? And you do that to try to get in the black, because when you start any business, you start in the red, you start in the negative, and you're trying to get into the black, and then deeper and deeper into the black. And that was our market. Our market was, if you had a door, we would manage it, which as you can imagine will get you into some issues, in that you might get the type of owners you may not want. You might get the slumlord type of owners.
Yep.
There are slumlords. That's a real thing. You may get owners that maybe doesn't buy into the way that you work, to my man's point. And so it took us some years to kind of say, you know what, let's take a step back and figure out who we are. What is our niche as a company? What do we do better than everybody else? What's our Chick-fil-A? I use Chick-fil-A a lot because they sell one thing, chicken sandwiches. You can't get a burger from there. You can't get pizza from there. And you can only order it one of two ways, either drive up or through the app. You know what I'm saying? And they kill it. And they have a line always wrapped around the building, and you never wait too long. You know what I mean? So anyway, to your point, as far as branding and whatnot, you're right. We had to kind of develop our niche, and we learned that our niche really is single family homes and in the suburbs, suburban single family type homes is our niche. And we focused on that, and so we don't look for just every client. We're looking for a particular type of client because we deliver a product or a service that speaks specifically to that need, and we find a lot of success with it. So you're 100% right on that.
Yeah, no, everybody should be, especially if you're starting like either again a podcast or a business, the best ones, and you all will hopefully immediately be able to identify with it. You normally can describe it in like a very small amount of words that doesn't even form like a whole sentence. It's like, oh, you know, that guy that does X, Y, and Z, but it's so unique. Nobody else does it. So my wife, she's an accountant. And so she's doing some stuff with her firm. So she's looking to use social media more for it. And she's really in the books. She reads like 400 books a year. So I'm like, hey, 80% of your content should be about books and 20% should be about accounting. And then you'll quickly become, oh, you know, that lady that like loves books, but she owns the accounting firm. It's like, that's one person. That's you. Can't describe anybody else like that. So we should all be looking for that. Oh, you know, the guy that does this, or, oh, you know, the girl that makes content like this. That's how we win and how you become unique and how you know that you are, you know, going directly towards an audience.
Facts. Yeah, man, that's dope.
There it is. Free game. Right there.
For now.
It, man. For now. All day. All day. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday's price ain't gonna be today's.
Yes, sir. Cool, man. But on that note, man, look, do not be a product of your circumstances. Be a product of your decisions. Take that home.
There we go.
There it is, man. Hey, man, Wadsworth, man, it was good having you on the show, bro. We definitely appreciate this, bro.
Nah, man, this was fun. I had a good time.
You know what I'm saying? So definitely, man, we gonna look for you, man. So as soon as you launch, man, we'll be happy to pull up for you, man.
Oh yeah,
join the show
for sure, man.
And talk shop, man, and be in your world a little bit, man. So DC, I don't think you pissed off nobody today, so that was good. You know,
it's always next week.
Same time, same channel, y'all, man. So, man, you already know. This Rod always kick up with those 3 words when we introduce them. You know, I like to end with 3 words. So, cue the music.